Red VTV, following the 35-16 defeat here in the Challenge Cup semi-final at Bolton. An absolute horror show.
That the worst first half performance we've put in this season, and then we're forced to push it in the second half.
Essentially the worst, well, it's the worst of the whole book.
Yeah, possibly so. A little bit, don't take it away from Catalan.
The
Catalan, their forwards absolutely bullied ours. They were faster all over the park. The ruck speed was better. When they tackled us, they made sure we were on our backs. They always find the stomachs and could play the ball quicker. So to be fair, Catalan have turned up there and they've put us right under the cosh.
They've put in the performance that they needed to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we talked about it on the preview show, didn't we, when we were saying about the reaction from the Saints fans when the draw was made and Saints fans celebrated and Catalan used that as motivation.
Yeah.
Probably you won't see that happen again.
No, I think fans will always do that when you get the perceived...
I don't think a club will allow that to happen again.
But fans will always celebrate when you've got the perceived weakest team. But Catalan, and it's horrible to say it, but I've been saying all along, it wasn't a gimme. It wasn't ever a gimme. If we've gone in with that attitude, then that's really poor. I don't think we have. I think literally Catalan have outplayed us. And they are one of the form teams. I know we are, but you have a look at some of our performances over recent weeks. Has this been coming? You have a look at the likes of the Warrington game. I
think we've said it. We haven't played well for a long time, and I think our concern was always at some point would it come back to bite us. Now, if Warrington hadn't have kept going for 2 the other week, would they have got plenty of points on the board and Saints would have struggled to chase the game? But something's not been right with our performances for a while. But that first half, it was essentially unacceptable. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Handling errors are plenty. It looked like we hadn't met each other for a while.
That's it. We got a couple of good penalties in good positions, and there was one where we got a penalty, then off the first tackle got another penalty, and we couldn't convert that into field position. You've not got to score off every set, but not turning them round or getting a repeat set, it's criminal to do that. Absolutely criminal. I thought we got away possibly with the Knowles high tackle. I think you can see them be red.
Seen red.
And whether it's red or yellow, I'd like to see it again. I mean, I've seen it once on the big screen and once live. We possibly got a little bit lucky, possibly just got what he deserved there in a yellow. But all of a sudden you're under the cosh. You can see 2 tries then before half time, which are literally walkthroughs. And you're struggling.
That costed him. We needed to shut the game down when that 10 minutes and we didn't. I think Catalan scored twice on the last tackle, twice in sets, and we were trying to push it from probably too early on in the game when we just needed to build a bit of pressure. And too many early in the sets, we were going wide and the ball was just landing in the touch.
That is that game as well though, because when we scored, with us even being so far behind as we were, where I was up in the Saints section on the side, there was a belief there that we could do it, that we could get back into it. And I know it hasn't come to that, but it's probably for the first time in a couple of years that Saints fans have thought, actually, we're 20-odd points down, we're nearly 30 points down here, we can still win this game. But I know ultimately we came up short, but...
Do you know what? That's cut football, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't turn up on the day, and it's mitigated a little bit by the way we've gone this season, and I think that was showed in the reaction, because I've seen semi-finals that Saints have played in where the players would have got absolute pelters after losing that. But to a man, the crowd stayed and applauded the players off, probably more for the performances over the season than the performance today. If we're looking at a little bit of an inquest, do we have to look at the way we've flogged ourselves and played our strongest team week in, week out? Yes, it's been working, but when the time's come, we've come up short, whereas Catalan rested everybody last week at Wigan and we're raring to go today. Now, I've called for week on week, rest players, rotate bodies. Castleford came a cropper last season in the Cup and the League in the Grand Final, because they went full tilt all season. Does that change our way of thinking now for these Super 8s?
I'm not sure it will change Holbrook's way of thinking. I think Holbrook will stick with his philosophy. Personally, I'd like to see a couple of lads get dropped in, like give Ashworth a bit more of a go. I know we had a tweet in about Bentley. Now Bentley was said at the start of the season he had a lot of improvements, and they were looking forward to seeing the improvement through our systems. If he's not ready yet, fair enough. But you've got to think, well, some of the fringe players, can they come in? Can Costello come in and give someone a rest? Is there anybody else who is kind of round and about coming through? Matty Lee's getting more minutes is always great to see. But yeah, I suppose the proof might be in the pudding though, that literally we're getting a bit tired now. That week off now for Wembley could be pivotal for our season. But we've got to take that performance today and we've got to learn from it, and we've got to take that and go, and when we get to the semis, because we're in the semis, aren't we, for the playoffs, when we get to the semis and when we get actually to that game, we've got to learn and take it forward and look to get into the grand final.
The worry is essentially we choked, well and truly absolute choked, and the game was gone by half time. Is that 4 or 5 semis in a row now we've lost? We lost the one last season at Castleford, when essentially that game was won. We lost a couple under Kieran. Is that a mental hump that we've got to go over? Now the problem is we're looking now towards them Super 8s thinking we've already got a semi. No matter, we could go. We could go.
Stop chucking pints.
That was the problem today. We didn't chuck enough. Lost my train of thought. Stop chucking flares.
We've already got that semi, is what you were saying.
So basically, we could think to us in our heads now. We can have 6, 7 great performances in Super 8 to win every game, but essentially it doesn't matter. It comes to that semi, and we could essentially do the same again. And a season that's shown so much promise, you could essentially win 30 games in the season, but come away with nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. There's quite a few players who didn't perform today. I think you can name probably 2 or 3 who you think come out with some credit.
Louis,
Tommy Wakinson, maybe Percy did all right, but we were pushing it.
I tell you what, I don't think I've seen Percy have as many handling errors in the game as he's had. Is it because he's forcing it?
Yeah, we were forcing it, but still going forward. Was it him who put in the tackle on Tierney that forced an error from them? Yeah, he's possibly one on the periphery, but the rest of them, they've probably got to have a look up and say, we weren't on it today for whatever reason.
Do you know what? 8 minutes in, I will mention the referee, because the referee didn't influence the result.
No.
Catalans were superb, we were awful, but there was a couple of poor penalties given away. A couple of decisions where he just didn't know at all. I think the one where we kicked off and Louis took it one-on-one. He's completely missed it, gone to his touch judge and then give a penalty.
Yeah, the other one that I didn't get was, I think it was against Luke Douglas, where he said Luke Douglas had stripped the ball, but it looked, to all intents and purposes on the big screen, like he'd just lost it. There was one near our line where he didn't play the ball correctly and we got not clearing the ruck. There's a couple of penalties which I call bullshit penalties. You know, where you can't clear the ruck with someone and they've got to stay still. That's not just for us. It's the same if it was Wigan, it's the same if it was Warrington. The rubbish penalties, they're absolute rubbish penalties, but they're forced into giving them because that's the rule. That needs changing, because what are you going to do? Drag someone out of the way of it? You can't do it. So if they move, they get penalised for it. If they stay still, they get penalised for it. But as you say, Robert Six didn't cost us that game.
No. You were going to Wembley anyway?
I wasn't going to Wembley.
No.
I actually got asked the question: would I rather Saints lost, so I didn't miss the Challenge Cup final, or Saints win? Nah, you want Saints to win the Challenge Cup final.
You would have had a nice day in the keg on holiday for it.
Yeah, all inclusive. Thank you very much.
But you know what? It's character building.
Yes, and that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do with it.
The players have got to take this now and use that as motivation for the end of that season and make sure they come away as champions, because if they don't, it'll be a travesty for the play over the course of the season. We all wanted the Wembley trip. It's another year where we've not got there, and
you know what, we've just got to make sure we get to Old Trafford now. That's the thing now. We've got to make sure we get there. I know it will be the focus of the club.
It's not even make sure they get there, it's make sure they go there and win it. But yeah, so disappointments for the day. I'm sure we'll have a couple of people who watch this who will quite enjoy watching us
I was going to name a name then, but I won't.
But hey ho, at least we get into these games. But the point is, you got to win them, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. No point getting to them and then coming away and going, oh well.
Yeah. On the plus side, we're all going home early. I think you sent me a message during the game. Feel sorry for all those who've come on a coach who've got to stay there till the end. And do you know what? I felt we were on a little bit of a hiding to nothing as well, with 3/4 of the ground supporting Catalan as well, which I know it's always going to be the way whoever played Catalan today.
Well, whichever team loses now in the Leeds and Warrington game, if any of the fans have dressed up as Catalan supporters today,
It was on a Leeds fan. You saw a Leeds fan before with a Catalan shirt on and a Leeds shirt under his arm.
Whoever loses, then good. That's all I've got to say about it.
Are you bothered who wins the cup?
No.
No.
Challenge Cup's over now. Dunkirk.
Yeah. Move on.
Yeah.
Oh, and listen, if you've all booked hotels on booking.com, don't forget to cancel because there's going to be nothing worse when you forgot and you're going to be paying for them. Come on, think of the positives here. Oh well. Right.
Leave it there.
Leave it there. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you Friday night and we get back on the horse and we beat Huddersfield.
Fingers crossed.
See you soon.